Tatum, what's going on? Thanks for joining the podcast today. I'm so glad we
Thank
could
you
do
for having me.
excited. We've been talking about doing a podcast for a minute now. We see each other at all these events, all these shows, and I'm super excited to have you on. I'm very excited.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. I'm very excited to get into this with you.
I gotta quickly pump some C4 into me to
I'm not
energize and wake up.
I'm not a caffeine person. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink energy drinks, which is like so unheard of. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and that's like all Marines run on is caffeine and tobacco and I don't do either. So I'm kind of like a little anomaly.
How do you function on a daily basis? What is your secret?
Spite, I guess. I don't know. Like,
Right, just the
I just
anger of
keep
the
going.
world.
No, I don't know. I'm very yappy. I'm very loud. I'm very all over the place. So I kind of feel like that just gets me through my time.
I like the idea of the spite against the world. Which honestly is
Here's
the
spite.
which is the exact opposite of how I would think of you. I would think if it's just like your bubbliness and your energy, you're just out there ready to go versus like you're like, no, it's actually anger. It's all anger.
Yeah. I'm filled with rage and I have to suppress it. No, but that's why I'm a certified rail rider. That's when I get out all that negative emotion. So so that I can spend the rest of my time being this, bright, bubbly gal, and then I'm a rage monster at a fest. So
Okay, it is kind of funny how I think the people that make like the dark satanic like music that people are like that is so bad. It's
yeah.
the opposite. It's like those people are actually somehow the nicest
The
people.
nicest people. Yeah.
Right. It's
Like
because like
I
I think
like just now thinking about it, Amorphic had recently tweeted how somebody for the first time called his visuals satanic. And he tweeted about it because he was like, that's not who I am, and that's not who he is. Like he is so sweet, so nice. Like he's such a homie. He's such a good individual.
yeah, but it's interesting how like that persona and then you meet
Yeah,
them,
like
they're just
that's not
super
what that
nice.
is. Like they're just
Yeah,
kind of scary and angry, but there's nothing to do with like anything else. Like
yeah, they
don't
get it
don't
all
push
out.
that agenda anywhere else.
Yeah, they get it all out through that expression, and then they just
Exactly.
clean slate everywhere else. What's going
Yes,
on? How are you?
exactly.
It's the SpongeBob wonderful weather we're having. He's just it's just clean slate. So I'm still shocked about this coffee and no caffeine. Like, no, you're just doing day job, content creation, festivals all night, nothing, not even a lick of it.
No, it's never been for me, and not it kind of makes my tummy hurt if we're being honest. I'm a tummy hurt gal. My tummy hurts all the freaking time, and like adding caffeine and like extra whatevers that these drinks have, it doesn't sit right with me apparently, and I whatever.
I'm a tummy hurt gal just took me
I'm a
out.
tummy hurt gal.
I'm writing that down. That might be
Put it on a bumper sticker.
that might be the title of the podcast.
Tummy hurt gal. Introducing our tummy hurt gal.
This is,
Tatum.
this is it. Do you drink a lot of water? Are you just super hydrated? Are you
So
just
also again, I'm telling on myself here. I don't drink nearly as much water as I should. I definitely do at festivals. You will not catch me not drinking water at a festival, but my like drink of choice, probably borderline addiction. I love the Glacier Freeze Blue Gatorade. That is on me 24/7. Like, mind you, I have several like Hydro Flask Yeti type reusable cups that I
yeah.
should be putting my water into. I'm gonna pass that over every single time and I'm gonna grab me an ice cold Gatorade, all right?
Glacier Freeze Gatorade
Yeah.
24/7. All right. I've got a new health plan and my my doctors are gonna be questioning me.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. But I think that's it. So you're just on a sugar rush from Gatorade all day. That's what it comes
Honestly,
down
that
to.
probably makes way more sense than me saying spite. I'm just constantly jacked up on Gatorade.
That's so funny. Um, so one of the main things that I love is that you have such a unique approach to content. And I mean, there's tons of people that do like unboxings and all that, but I just find that yours is quite unique in the sense of how you do these unboxings and how you just talk and just I don't know, you just out there, you just talk into the world out there. And I think I'm also drawn to it because I know I struggle personally with being on camera for regular content and just talking. I could do this, me and you here all day, but
Mhm.
something about like putting my phone in my face and being like, this is my opinion, or hey, I got this.
Yeah.
It's just something about it is hard for me to overcome. I'm getting there. But how did you just start doing that unique content style? What was the like initial thing? Which is that how you even I actually don't know because we obviously connected as you've grown and I've grown. Is that how
Yes.
you started? Did you just start right away of like, I got this product and like
I literally just started one day and it kind of picked up. Before I got into making festival and rave content, I was working with a lot of like so slow fashion, like hippie brands. And that was kind of where I was at, where I was doing unboxings and styling videos and da 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 da. But I don't think that my quote unquote like unique content style really came into play until I was a rave influencer. And honestly, when I was first getting asked that question, like, how did you come up with this unique content creation style? I was like kind of dumbfounded because I was like, I just push play on my camera and I just yap and I kind of don't like whatever comes out and I'm not responsible for it. Like, like it's just very me and authentic. And I've always told myself that like if I'm not able to be 100% of myself for me, why would I be anything but just me for anyone else? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like why would I put on this face to like gain followers? Because that was never the goal either. I like to yap and I was finding myself searching on TikTok and social media websites alike where I was like, hey, like rave outfits over here. What festival should I be going to? Or what are these tips and tricks? And I wasn't finding videos that I thought worked for me personally. So I was like, I might as well just make my own. Like there's got to be more people out there. So that's kind of where I got into creating the content was I was just yapping away. But as far as my style, it's just me and I'm just letting it come out and sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. Oh well. But I keep on chugging along.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm truthfully impressed by it because that does not come naturally to me. And
Yes.
like just not to talk about me, because like I started out with content by filming sets and filming, like and posting those because I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going, might as well just post these and like
Yeah.
whatever happens, happens. And then I got on camera and I could do the skits fine. I could make up skits, I could make up captions for the skits, no problem. And then it was like, well, that was working for the brief period of TikTok where like it was like crazy. And then now it's like, we want you to talk. And I'm like, what do you mean you want me
Yeah,
to talk?
you
I
gotta
don't know how to
actually
talk.
engage now. You gotta be a
Yeah.
human being about it.
Yes, yes. And not to and to be fair, that element is always what attracts people, I think, in social media is having them understand like your voice and where you stand on things and they just get to know you for you. And that's something I've always struggled with is like what part of me, which I should just be showing everything, but then it's like, well, what is every you know what I mean? Like I go into
Yeah,
like this
what's going on?
yeah, I go into like this deep philosophical of like, well, what is it? What am I showing? And instead of just putting stuff out. So I've been working on that more and more. But again, it doesn't come natural, I feel like, to most people. And it's very, I think it's very commendable just how yours just seems to
Thank
flow
you.
so easily and
Thank
just,
you. Yeah. It's a lot of just me yapping and dare I say I'm a bit of an attention whore. I do love attention. I love it. I do. I'm not going to deny it. And I think that's kind of also where it comes from is like the more animated I can be, the more attention I'm going to get and it kind of works out really well for both parties. So it's like might as well just keep being me like
you need some form of a podcast. I swear to God, it's something you need to something, or you need to be like a reoccurring guest on like a two-person podcast where you are coming in and just yapping away because it's
No,
too good.
I'm a big yapper. And it's like, don't get me wrong. I don't think that everyone needs to hear what I have to say or needs to think that I'm funny or whatever it is. I like hearing what I have to say. I think I'm funny and that's enough for me. I'm just sharing with y'all my skills and my gifts and if you like it amazing, if you don't, you can leave it. Like that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I just like to yap.
Yeah, you can come to my page, and if you don't like it, you don't have to
No,
follow.
literally like I promise you like I don't it's going to be fine. Like I'm going to be good.
That yeah, no, I'm with you there. That's such a great mindset to have in a lot of things of just like,
Oh yeah.
hey, I'm doing me, and you either like it or you can't. I don't
Yeah.
really care.
And it doesn't hurt me regardless because a lot of stuff that goes into being so open on social media is being open with the fact that you're going to receive feedback no matter what. It's going to be positive or negative whether you ask for it or not. Like it's going to come back to you. So I've had to tell myself like I'm a firm believer in if I cherish you as an individual, as a friend, as a human being in my life, I'm going to cherish your opinion of me because I value you. I'm going to value your opinion of me. But if you're somebody who is just somebody else on this earth with me and I don't value you anything past just being a normal human being on earth with me, I'm going to respect you. But if I don't value you past that, why would I value your opinion of me? Like, genuinely, and that's not even to be like mean, but that's just like an honest truth that I have to tell myself. Like, I can't let people that I don't know that don't know me dictate how I feel about myself because I posted a silly little video and you decided to hate comment on it for whatever reason. But like,
Yeah.
I digress. No, I don't know. I hold the opinions of those close to me very close to home. And then if you're further away from home, that's as far as your opinion is for me.
Yeah, I always thought of I heard a quote from somebody once say, like, "If they don't have my phone number, why do I care?"
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I
It's like, because
love that quote. I think it was like Mark Wahlberg who might have said it or Kevin Bacon or someone. But the entirety of that quote is if you have a problem with me, text me. And if you don't have my number, you don't have a problem with me.
yeah, yeah,
Because like,
yeah,
why do you like who are you upset with right now? Like,
right.
but again, that's a whole different conversation.
Is that something that you've developed over time, or is that just like you've always kind of had this mindset, or as like you've grown, like maybe I feel like, okay, for me personally, I didn't have that in high school, but I would say like toward the end of high school, it was kind of like, oh yeah, what am I doing? Giving the podcast?
Yeah. Excuse me. No, I think a lot of where that mindset and I hate to call it confidence because I never want it to be like misunderstood as cockiness, but it definitely is a certain confidence that I have within myself that I did not have growing up.
Mhm.
I like totally thought that I should be silent versus me always wanting to be loud and proud and talk and yap and just go, go, go. I'm so high energy that I would get those comments of like, calm down, or it's not that serious, or like, I'd always get these comments that just made me feel like I should be pushing myself back down, which is insane because now my mindset is take up as much room as you possibly can because if not you, then who? Like, I think it's so important to take up as much space and be as loud and proud as you can be because that's honestly how it's gotten me as far as I've gotten in my content creation. Just being loud and proud about everything. So it definitely was something that I had to learn. And honestly, it didn't really get to that point of confidence until I started posting, on Rave Talk, like seeing all these people just really enjoy the fact that I was over the top, authentic, and loud, and everyone was enjoying it. I was like, I've never gotten this response before when I was a kid and I was loud and being kind of annoying, which is honestly, in truth, what I am on the internet. I'm just kind of loud and annoying on the internet. That's what I do. So when I was loud and annoying in person as a child, people didn't like it. So I had to push little
Yeah.
annoying loud Tatum down. And then over time in my adulthood, she's just popped right back out. And like, it's the version of me that people love. And I never want to live a life for someone else. Like, I want to be authentically me. And I should never have to think and stop and be like, Tatum, like, are you being a bit too crazy right now? Like, no, who has time to second guess themselves on their natural reaction to things? So yeah, definitely something I had to learn. Very, very rough. It was very rough, but I got through it. And
Yeah.
you can too. Everyone can.
Yes, absolutely everyone can. Yeah. I have you said something about like I like to be oh my gosh, I just lost the word, but you don't want to be cockiness essentially.
Yeah, it's never cocky. It's just confidence. And I never want
Confident but
that to
not
be,
cocky. Right.
yeah, like I never
Yeah.
want that to be misconstrued or misunderstood. Like, because not for nothing, if you're not loud and proud, and I say this all the time too, of like closed mouths don't get fed. And if you're not confident, you're not going anywhere in the sense of if you have a dream and you're not willing to do everything for it to include being yourself, like how are you going to get there if you're not asking for this opportunity or asking for help or just showcasing who you are? Like if you're not able to be confident with yourself, how are other people going to take you like, seriously or confidently? Like, I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
that no,
See, now I'm not
like,
confident
ah,
about my
maybe not.
answer.
Maybe I'll just retract that statement.
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
you're 100% on board with that. I mean, I had someone recently within the past year that was like, "Hey, you gotta fight for some of the things you want." And I was like, "What do you
Ah,
mean?" They're like, "Well, you just look, like you're very humble about what you're doing." Now I'm talking like that. That's what they said to me. I'm sorry, but they said that to me, and I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "You gotta voice what you want more because you can go get it." And I was just like, "Oh." Yeah, it really stuck with me of like now the past year I'm like, what the fuck do I want? Because now I gotta
Oh yeah,
post
no,
pictures.
seriously. And not for nothing, with me and my confidence and with tying in being humble about it, I think it's so important. I think that as much as you are confident, you should be humble about it. You should definitely give yourself like an inch or two of like extra confidence that's not so humble, because you should want to pick yourself up. But the humbleness really is important because that's what keeps you from being cocky. I mean, I can't tell you enough times of how many times I've hopped on TikTok or Instagram and I've just cried just thanking my audience and the people that follow me and my friends and my family for supporting me, because I would be some random girly pop on TikTok with a couple thousand followers, probably even a couple hundred followers, just yapping away if it weren't for the fact that people followed me and
Right.
liked my stuff and commented and
Yeah.
engaged and shown all these brands like who I am as an individual and a content creator versus the actual numbers. Because I'm not like this major content creator. I've got like 12,000 on Instagram, 30,000 on TikTok. That's not crazy for our community as far as, followers go. And I'm very appreciative and I love each and every single one of those people, but like my numbers, my numbers aren't there. But because of the content I push out, it does kind of resonate better with brands and with people. And I'm not even gonna lie, don't even know what train tracks I'm on right now with this thought, but like I just totally lost my train of thought. Don't even know what we're talking about
No,
anymore.
you're
Oh my
good.
gosh.
You're good.
Um, oh, being humble and confident. It's
Right.
important to stay humble, and it's important to thank the audience that gave you the platform, because I didn't wake up one day and just have 30,000 followers. No,
Yeah.
30,000 people liked me enough to want to be like, hey, I want to see you yap a little bit more. And then they followed me, and here we are. And I'm very appreciative of them. And I always try to do giveaways when I can. And I always try to engage with comments when I can. And I host meetups at festivals. And I always stop and say, thank you for being my friend at a festival. If someone runs into me and they're, a follower of mine, it's imperative to me that I always say thank you for being my friend, because I never get to say that personally over the internet. Like it just doesn't hit the
Right.
same. So
No, I totally get it.
stay
That's how
humble.
I think we connected more is when we met in person. It was
Oh
like,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and that's another thing is like when you meet somebody you follow in person, whether on any scale, when they're like just the same person that you follow, you're like, oh my God, this is like so refreshing. Than rather than get somebody who just doesn't come or comes across differently, and then you meet them, and you're
Yeah,
like, oh, and then granted, people have bad days, whatever, but like it's just very unique in that sense in general across the board when you meet somebody that is like
yeah.
there.
I always tell myself that I try to have lower expectations of people, only because I never want for their lack of being able to live up to what I thought of them would be. I try to have low expectations when I meet people, because not to be in a sad way of like people let you down, but like give that person a chance to like not be having a bad day, or
Yeah,
like not have them be in a crazy situation, and kind of like get to know them a little bit before you kind of like judge them right off when you first meet them.
yeah,
Um,
totally agree. Totally
that
agree.
can totally go a
I
different way, but
I can definitely go. I had a quote for you that you can be about yourself without being a dick. I just want to get your opinion on that and what your thoughts.
yes, you can absolutely, yes. You can go about you can go your entire life without being an asshole. And
Yeah,
I swear things are gonna work out so well for you
yeah, yeah.
versus if you had. And like I definitely think that, I mean, that's what gets you places. That's what gets you connections, is like
Mhm.
being a genuine, nice individual. If you're genuinely an asshole, you might not get as far. But if you're genuinely a sweetheart and you're willing to put in the work, like you could rule the freaking world. And I don't know. I feel like that's kind of where I'm coming up right now, where I've blown up so fast and so genuinely on the internet, where my genuine authenticity just kind of speaks for itself, and it's gotten me all these places, and it's just, I don't know, it's crazy. I every single day I'm like, what is this life that I'm living? And I couldn't be more grateful for it.
No, I know it is crazy to look at it and just. So when you first started, did you see it going in any way, or was it just like I'm gonna put stuff out and like? Because I know some people that had like some had a vision, some were like I'm just gonna put things out because I enjoy them. Like it's just everyone's got a different way story of how
Yes.
they started and why they started. What was the reason why you started, and did you see it going to where we're at now?
So where I really, really took off on TikTok, and that's where I consider like my beginning of my TikTok journey, was I had posted a transition video for FK, and it blew up bigger than I ever thought it could have. And up until that point, I was working with, slow fashion brands more and more in the hippie community. And that's where I was like just doing like unboxings and stylings. And it wasn't as insane as it is now. Excuse you, sir. Sorry. Um, Benny's being silly. I had just posted the video because I thought it was cutie, and FK was my second rave. This was 2 FKs ago, and I had seen other girls doing transition videos, and I was like, well, I want to do that too. Like, I just think it's fun. And I posted the video, and that first day I had no service, so I couldn't tell what was happening on my phone. And so many people that first day were coming up to me, like, you're that girl from TikTok. And I was like, I don't think so. Like, I think you mean someone else because I'm not someone that's on TikTok like that. And then I got home, I got to the Airbnb, and my phone just on fire. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I feel really bad for telling those people it wasn't me because it was. Come here. Sorry. And yeah, no, I never saw it really going anywhere. And once I saw the traction that I had gotten, I was like, I guess I just should keep on posting. And I think it took me like probably like a year, a year-ish maybe, until I actually got like settled into content creation and
Yeah.
working with brands, which is actually kind of silly to think about, maybe less than a year. But yeah, I had no plans. It was just I yap, I want attention, I'm posting on the internet, seeing where it goes, and it went the best possible path it could have gone.
Right. No, I totally get it. It's interesting too with just the evolution of content and how it's changed over time too. And I don't know, it's fascinating to get these origin stories and see where we go
Yes.
from there. But a year into settling into content creation with where you were is still quite impressive, to be honest. Like, I mean,
And
now the other thing a question with that is were you doing the same thing throughout that year, or have you evolved it over time, changed it up? Because I know, like me personally, I've technically been on this content creation journey. This will be year 4 in
mhm,
August. However, I started off like completely different side of things, and it's
yes.
evolved more and more, and it kind of settled in now. Where I like the past year, I've kind of settled. We're like, all right, I like what I'm doing now, and now let's zone in. But it wasn't like that for me. And another thing, I to tack on to the question, I apologize. But were you like did you have other people that were creating content at the same time as you that you could talk to, or were you kind of like off on your own figuring it out?
So yeah, no, I was making these connections with other content creators, and it was great, and I was able to kind of get some tips and tricks from them. But as far as like my actual content, like I have been alone in Atlanta for the majority of the time I've lived up here. So it really is just me when it comes to my content creation. And honestly, it was a lot of just I love and I hate telling my like content creation story journey, just because like I feel like mine didn't have as much effort in it as it could have, in the sense that I'm very, 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 very lucky that it came very natural to me to yap on the internet, and it came very natural to me to talk to people in a very playful yet professional way and kind of get places. Like it really worked out for me. Not to diminish the work I have put into it, but like I knew to put hashtags on my videos, so I put hashtags on my videos and it worked. And I knew to post at a certain time, so I did that and it worked. Like I knew to have a cutie caption, and I knew to have my thumbnail look a certain way. And I guess that was just more so of knowledge that I got just from watching other creators that I was following.
Yeah.
Here. Um, and yeah, it just again, I'm very lucky that it came natural to me. I don't ever want to say easy, because it was not an easy road. I mean, there was definitely plenty of hours where I sat on my floor just this is such an influencer champagne problem, just sitting in the floor of my sunroom with just boxes and stuff everywhere, and being so overwhelmed, and just knowing that I owe everyone all this content. And like there are definitely times where like it gets a little dark because everything does in life, everything kind of gets overwhelming at some point. But it really has just been me, and like just me figuring it out on my own, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm with you there. There was definitely a long period of either doing things not right, or for me personally, like I'd started on my own, and then there's some things I knew, like I should be clipping these podcasts down and yada yada, but I suck at editing. And it's like there was definitely a solid year and a half where like I just wasn't doing that, and then I finally was like, why am I doing this and not doing it correctly? And then
Yeah. Yes.
obviously, of course, once I start doing it correctly, you see way more dividends being paid out within a short period of time versus like a year.
Yeah.
So it is kind of just it's just anyways. And then same thing about talking about asking for help or anything of that nature. I didn't do that for a while. Now I have no problem texting and being like, hey, what do you think of this? Because now it's like
Oh yeah.
I'd rather just get an opinion and go from it than just like sit around and not know what to do or do it wrong. But
Yeah.
and then you brought up something about like the influencer shame thing, but
Yeah.
something you probably can relate to is the ebbs and flows of the creating process. And you have moments where you're on like such a high and you're doing things and you're loving it and you're doing it. And then you have like one thought and you're like almost stuck for 2 days of like, what am I doing? Is this
What am I
correct?
doing with my life? Like,
Have you?
why am I posting these silly little videos on the internet that literally nobody cares about? And again, mind you, like I've already gone through the motions of you with telling you that like I'm a fairly confident individual, but there are some times where I'm like, this sucks. Why are you posting this? Like nobody likes it. Like, what are you doing? Like, my thoughts are never like, oh no, the engagement's gonna be bad. No, it genuinely is just like people are gonna see this and they're gonna be really upset with you. They're gonna be so sad that this sucks. Like, they're gonna hate this unboxing video. Like, you didn't gasp loud enough. And these are things that I've told myself where I'm like, Tatum, it's not that serious.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fine. Here.
Yeah, I definitely have those moments where I'm like, I'm like, what am I doing? Should I continue doing this? And then of course, like one thing happens, and you're like, yes, I should
Like,
be
yes,
do
this is
this.
fun. Like,
I do
I
enjoy this.
I do remember that I was very, 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 very fortunate to go on a little festival bender. And after the festival, after I'd gotten done doing 3 back-to-back festivals, I sat with myself for like a month and I didn't talk to people. I didn't make any content. Like I had so many people reaching out to me of just like showing me all this like positivity and love and just like appreciation for me. And like this, the amount of like loving positive messages I got was insane. And that's what kind of got me back into the place of, okay, cool. Like I can do this. I'm meant to do this. Cause I won't lie. There was a minute there where I was like, I'm done. Like I'll finish out the rest of what I got going on. But like, I kind of just want to go back to not being influencer Tatum Bell and just be Tatum. Like she was so like chill and cool and like could go anywhere and hang out and not be like expected to perform a certain way and just like I don't know. I miss her sometimes, but also I'm very 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 lucky to like live the life that I live now and it's just like I don't know where I would be without my audience and without like this community in general and just I don't know. I'm yapping again.
No, no, you're good. You're going on a great tangent. Um,
Sorry.
excuse me. No, you're absolutely right. I had a question too, and I just lost it, so you're good. But Um, one of the things I want to know about is when you're working with, brands and you're working your real job and you're doing your other content creation, you're doing kind of you got three things you're kind of doing. Two of them revolve around your own page, but how do
Yeah.
you structure your time management or your creative process in a sense? Because that's something I know for me, working a full-time job and then content creating plus a podcast, it is sometimes hard to find the time to do it all and playing that. And I just love hearing how other people go about that process.
Yeah, no, if you had asked me that 2 months ago, I probably would have broke down crying because of just the lack of time management I had going on. I was heavily involved with several different avenues within this industry, and recently I've been able to focus on just one plus my content creation. And right now, because it's just the one, I'm able to do my regular 9 to 5 during the week, and then on the weekday and the weekends is when I kind of hone in for an hour or two on a Saturday or Sunday, and I just knock out all my content. Sorry, he's whining.
Why did I
Um,
hear him?
he just wants attention. And I have just really been trying to focus on getting all my work done during the week and just focusing on that. And then weekends is like my content creation time, which is also why I've been looking more into becoming more of like an established influencer. Like I have like a media kit created and rates, and like I'm making
Ooh.
it like a serious thing because I'm looking at all the time I'm spending on the weekends and I'm like, Tatum, like this is genuinely like time you're putting into into this content and you're making it as good as you can and like you're getting engagement for all these brands, like you might as well start making an actual job. And I feel like that would make me feel better about it. But yeah, no, I try to keep it very separate of weekdays and then weekends.
No, I got you 100%. I just was starting to think about doing that same exact thing. So we're gonna have more to talk about off camera. But
Yes.
other than that, no, that's awesome. Something I really quickly want to run back to before I ask our last question was how did that break go for you and how did that help you just reset and realign? Because I just went through something complete like the exact same thing where I kind of hit the goal that I originally set out to hit with this content and everything. And I hit it and now, I had a moment of just like, oh, now what? Like what
Yeah.
do I do? And
Yeah.
It was very overwhelming for the first couple months of having that, like, oh my God, I hit the goal, yay. And then you
Yep.
celebrate for like a couple weeks and you're like, wait, but now I
Mhm.
don't know where I'm going with this. And so it was really nice to just chill and take a break and realign and figure everything out. And how did that, anyways, how did that process work for you is my question. Then we got one more question or dive in that.
Um, exactly what you just said with that festival bender, 75% of that was work for me. And these were projects that I had been working on for months and months and months. So yeah, once that festival bender month was over, I was like, okay, I just completed everything that I've been working towards for so many months. Like, now what? And it was that question of, well, now what? What do I do? And I kind of thought that like it was the end of an era for me. And then I sat with myself a little bit and I had the internal battle of, do I continue doing this? Do I stop? Like, do I just, like, what do I do? And then I realized like, no, like I genuinely do love content creation. I love connecting with people. Like, even if it's not as an influencer, like I still love just showcasing things to people and like and sharing small brands and sharing all these people that can be connected. And like, I don't know, I just the thought of how much happiness I've brought people, I didn't want to not be able to offer that to other people. Not in the sense that like I am someone's one true mighty happiness, but like the fact that I had had so many people telling me like how much my content, helped them gain confidence and find so many cute businesses and like and through that made friends, like just like all these little connections that I was able to kind of facilitate without even really trying. I was like, who am I to know that I can do this and choose not to. Like, which on two sides is amazing, but then also kind of puts myself in a bad situation of like, I'm not the source of people's happiness. I shouldn't put that on myself. But there are some times where I'm just like, no, like if I can do something to make you feel a little bit better and that's just through a random video, like I should do that. Like I can do that, so I will. So I don't know. It was a lot of just wanting to make sure that I was continuing to spread the confidence and happiness that I have previously. Um, and not for nothing, extremely transparent. Hate me for it, I don't care. Free stuff is always cool. I like free things. I like free outfits. I like free festivals. I will promote for them and I'll do whatever I can. But very transparently, I don't want to get rid of that just yet. So I kept on going on.
Yeah, no, I get it. Trust me, I understand. You gotta, and that's the life you gotta
Yeah,
walk that
if
tightrope.
if
You know what I
if
mean?
my if what I got to do is make some videos, I'm gonna make some videos. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I almost would rather. It sounds weird, but I almost would rather have like a tangible thing of like I have to make these versus like,
Yeah,
hey, I should be making. You know what I mean? Like it sounds weird,
yeah. No,
even
I
though
yes,
the mindset is the same of like I do need to make these for my own benefit.
yes.
It's something weird of like you don't have to make. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
you have
I
that
will
cop
I
out.
will say, like I'm very lucky where I'll have brands reach out to me like, "Hey, we love you. We want to send you this content. Don't worry about posting it." And then I'll still want to post it, of course, but because I have like structured videos I need to make for like brands that I've said, "Hey, this is my end of the deal. I will post." I find myself kind of pushing the ones that aren't required to the bottom of the list, and I always bring it up when I can kind of thing, but
Yeah,
yeah, once I know I have to do it by a certain time, I'm like way more go 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 about it, but
I
sometimes I'm a little slow.
totally understand. Where do you see this content that let me rephrase that question because I just butchered it.
Anything,
Where
yeah.
do you see yourself growing in the next 5 years? Do you have a goal in mind? Do you not? Is it a 10
Yes.
year? Is it a 20 year? Is it a 3 year? There is no goal. What do you see yourself in the next couple years?
I oh, I apologize to do it, but I'm gonna give you my 1 year goal because that's as far out as I've thought so far. I recently started being a full-time employee over at Elevate Designs, and I've been obsessed with this brand for a year now. Being a part of the official team is crazy, and the amount of amazing projects that we have coming out in 2024, I'm so excited to be a part of. Mainly because me being at the forefront of content creation for them, I kind of have like this monopoly of like, okay, like I'm here at the beginning when everything's kind of starting, everything picks up, I'm going up with it. Like I'm very excited to see how that kind of goes. So honestly, just to better establish myself within the brand and kind of show like you guys hired me for a reason and I'm not here to clown around. I'm here to get shit done. And like I'm so excited to see just where my position grows as the company grows. And I'm just like so overly ecstatic for 2024. new job, new city I'll be living in and moving to Denver here next month. Literally so excited for that. So just kind of getting settled in Denver and with my job is like the year goal. And then we'll go from there after.
No, I love it. I love it. Those are two, first off, those are not like small little things in life. Those are both
I know, just
very
like
big things.
sliding that in.
But it makes total sense that, hey, if I'm gonna move across the country, that's really my only goal at the moment.
Yeah, that's like my only goal is like to get settled and established, and then we'll pick back up from there.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. That makes total sense to me. I'm nothing wrong bad about that.
Yes.
We are gonna take a quick break and we're gonna be right back, everybody. And we're back after that little short break, y'all. Appreciate you sticking with us. We've got one more question for you, Tatum, or I, Gav. There's no one else but me here. I got one more question for you, and that is what I ask all my guests: is how do you live yourself for every day?
I'm still so nervous about this question. Um, I I really want to like think for a sec and like give like a genuine answer, because if it weren't for the opportunities I've been afforded due to me being authentic and due to my audience and everything, like I wouldn't live the life that I do. So instead of running through my day out of spite, you know, because I don't drink caffeine, instead of going through my day just out of spite, I
Right.
go through just of like there's no other choice for me to not live up to what I have going on right now and just to go forward. Like I never want to rescind from where I'm at currently.
Yeah.
Um and I mean that in all aspects of my life. Like I'm 24. I have my best friend Benny. He's my dog, he's my golden doodle. I have an apartment, I have a car, I pay all my bills, like I have a full-time job. And it's like if I don't continue living my life the way that I did while trying to reach these goals, I would not be able to currently live it. So I think I just kind of live for life itself, just keeping on going, I guess. Like I love my job and I want to do a good job there, so I get my tasks and I do them, and that makes me feel fulfilled and okay, cool, amazing. And then I have my friendships and my relationships and I feel fulfilled in those. And I think it's just about like keeping all these bits of my life fulfilled. And with that, it's like, oh, I really enjoy this feeling of like being cool, calm, and collected and enjoying my day. Like, let's do that tomorrow again. Like, let's keep this thing up.
So would it
So yeah,
be
I
summed
don't
up
know.
best as like looking forward, never looking back? Like just let's
Yeah,
keep it
pretty
going.
much. There's literally nothing we can do about past choices we've made, whether they're good or bad. And it's like, why sit there and dwell on it when you can see that you had a bad day? Okay, now live your next day doing the exact opposite that you did on the bad day, and maybe you'll have a good day. So it's like, if you had a really good day, do that same thing over again and you'll have a good day again. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just living for life itself in the sense of like, I'm always looking forward. I'm always looking to have a good day. Like, I very much so am in charge of my own experience, and if I'm not doing what it takes to have a good experience, then what am I doing? Like, I don't know. I live for the good.
Yeah, living that. I think that would sum it up even better is just living for the good experiences
Yeah.
and getting the most. So you're just trying to get the most good out of this life experience that we have.
Yes. I
Whether
like the
that
life is
is
good.
Yeah, whether that is I'm gonna make the best cup of coffee, or you don't make coffee. There's
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna have the best tasting glacier freeze Gatorade, and it's gonna be
So
so
good.
good that I might get it
So
tomorrow.
good.
But tomorrow's is gonna be even better
Yeah,
than the one I had yesterday. I'm not even
exactly.
thinking about the one I had yesterday because this one is so good. So living in the
Yes.
moment, looking forward for the good things, but living in that moment and finding the good in those
Yes.
moments.
See, you said it so much better than I ever could. Glad you're here.
I have some experience in asking this question and summing it up.
Yes, yes, you do. Yeah, no,
No, it
always
is.
living for the good, always looking forward, always just trying to do a little bit better. Because there's nothing wrong with improving yourself and your life and your experiences. Like, I personally am always wanting the best for myself, and like I live my life to make sure I can have that. And yeah, I live for the
Living for the good. Oh my gosh, I love that. That is so amazing. I mean, if someone listening hasn't taken that away from today's podcast,
good. Yeah.
even
I
I
gotta
could think about.
trademark that. Live for the good.
Yeah, I might change the whole name of the
I
podcast.
know. What was it going to be earlier? Tummy ache gal or whatever I said.
Well, I was kidding. It's not
That.
actually gonna
I'm gonna
be.
tweet that. Live
I'm
for
a
the good.
tummy.
I'm gonna make that
Living.
my entire personality now, even though it kind of already is.
No, that is that I mean that is like I was
Yeah.
saying to you prior to. the podcast started, you don't realize how the first 20-30 minutes of the podcast is lines up very much with how you're going to answer that question. It's just something you don't think about. And then you get, when you re-listen to it, you're like, oh yeah, I
Oh,
am
that makes sense.
definitely doing that and living for the good. Would
Yeah.
you have any in that living for the good, any small tidbits of things that people can take away on how you do that on a daily basis? Because, and the reason I ask that is because I feel like, and not to get into it too much, but I feel like you can develop, like you mentioned, you can develop your own happiness. And if you're not happy and you're sad, obviously there are some chemical imbalances, but if you're not happy, there are small things you can do daily that as they procure, they get bigger, and then that snowball effect, it starts out tiny and it goes down the hill and it's huge. And eventually you just come up and you're like, oh man, I'm feeling a lot better than I did a month ago.
Yeah. And
Like,
I'm actually going to get a little real with you on that answer. Speaking of chemical imbalances, I am diagnosed borderline personality disorder. So a lot of my chemical imbalances are very different. They're very high, they're very low, and they interchange at all times. So I know what I'm like when I'm at a lower experience, and I honestly, that kind of motivates me to want to create so many good things in my life that if I'm sitting there and I'm just mentally drained and I'm mentally sad and I think, oh, there's nothing to look forward to, if I've already created all of these amazing avenues and opportunities in my life, I have that to look forward to. I have the good to look forward to. So I almost kind of like don't allow myself to like get so deep and sad in my lower experiences because again, I'm living for the good. Like I got to get to that good and I can't get there if I'm all the way down here in Sadville. Like I gotta boost myself up, and
yeah.
that's what I have found works for me. Whatever's gonna work for you is what's gonna work for you. And I wish you well on that path and journey of happiness kind of thing. But I just found that it works for me, and maybe that's not as healthy as it could be. But I don't know. I'm always looking forward, always looking for the good, and yeah,
Well, no, I think you hit on something that's super important there is that you got to kind of know yourself a little bit there.
yeah,
That's a big thing
yeah.
of like, how are you happy and how do you find your happiness? Well, you got to kind of know
I
you and
create it.
learn, yeah, take some time to know you because like if you know you, you can kind of in a sense get ahead of something. If you see like, oh, I'm in this path again and this did not end well last time, I can
No, it did
fix.
not.
Yeah, but if you don't learn about you, you might just run into that same wall again, and you'll just keep running into that
Yeah.
same wall until you figure it out or learn about you. So no, I think that's I mean that's perfect advice in a sense of just like you got to learn you. And I think in general, that's a rule of thumb. I think if people are I just think that's something that everyone needs, and that's something you should strive to do is learn the most about you. And again, you can be all about you without being a dick. Call back to that earlier.
Yeah, that
That
part.
is a that is a
And
bad quote original, but you
no,
can.
it's amazing. And also like kind of how I said earlier, I was like, oh, like I'm living for the good, not out of spite. I think I almost am living out of spite in the sense of I'm being spiteful of my sad self. Like I'm gonna live such a good life in spite of my bad self that like I don't even know you. I don't know bad Tatum. Like I don't know sad her. Like all I know is good Tatum. So I think I'm kind of just living out of spite of my own sadness.
Yeah, no, that's
Again,
that's a way to
if it
put it.
works for me, that's great. I hope it works for you. But if not, you'll figure it out one day. Like you'll figure out what works for you.
We've gone full circle there with that
Yeah.
answer.
Just
Um,
pure rage and spite at the end of the day.
yeah, pure rage and spite towards my self that I don't like, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it happen and be better for me.
Yeah.
No,
No.
I absolutely love that. I love everything about that. It's so important to live for the good in that sense. And hopefully someone hears that and it clicks for them and like, yeah, I gotta start living the best I can.
That's
And
a good quote.
it is, I wrote it down.
Gonna make it my entire personality.
I changed my whole page and everything.
Yeah, everything's gonna have live for the good on it now. Sorry.
Yeah. um, no, again, I absolutely love that. Tatum, that was a great answer. I love hearing about that, and I think you do encompass that as a whole with your content and just from what I know about you in person, when I see you in person and stuff. So, with that being said, give people the insight on where they can follow you, where they can find you, and we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, no, I super appreciate you. I appreciate being here. You can find me on Instagram at tatum.bell. You can find me over on TikTok at Tatum Bell with 3 L's. I post loud, yappy, nobody cares content on there. Go ahead and check it out. Yeah, no, I super appreciate being here and hope to come back soon.
We'll definitely have you on again. I'll make sure to put those into the description of the podcast as well as for
Thank
those
you.
who can find it. But yes, absolutely, you're more than welcome back on anytime. A matter of fact, I love having return guests on. It makes it so much more fun, and people can follow along with the journey in that sense too. So absolutely, you'll come back on. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. With that being said, everybody, we're out. Peace.
Bye.